Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Trojan Football 1989. Tonight, the Trojans play host to the Buffaloes of Newport, and we've got a good ball game on hand here tonight, I think. Both teams hungry to add their second win to the season. Trojans coming off a fine victory last week against the Williams Valley Vikings. Look to make it 2 in a row now over these Newport Buffaloes. Trojans tonight send out Brian Bellis, along with Brian Mace, Gene Rickert, and Rich Shadle as the co-captains tonight. And let's see, it looks as though the Trojans have won the toss, and they have elected to receive. So we'll begin the ball game with Newport kicking off to our Trojans here in just a moment. Beautiful, beautiful evening for football tonight. A little coolish, probably around 68, 70 degrees, something like that. No wind again to speak of. The field in excellent, if not real dry condition. And it should just be a super ball game. Not nearly the crowd we had last week, here against the Vikings. Of course, that's always the big draw. And tonight, kind of a semi-sparse crowd as the football has competition tonight. Williams Valley hosting Halifax. So a lot of fans that were here last week will be attending those ball games, but Trojans have a good crowd over here on their side of the field, an enthusiastic bunch here, I think, that want to see the Trojans take on these Buffaloes and come home with the second win of the season. So we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes, a couple seconds really, as we're getting it set up out here. The moon is appearing at the ball game tonight too. Appearing over the mountain here.
Position number 34, Gene Rickert.
Looks like it might be a full moon tonight, so he is in attendance.
And quarterbacking over Dauphin, number 12,
and we'll be set to go here in just about a couple of seconds now. Gene Rickert and Todd Ayers will be deep to receive the kick as we begin the ball game tonight. Rickert had a fine ball game, and Ayers. Both these lads had probably the best game of the last 2 seasons, I think, last week against the Vikings of Williams Valley. Both of them running real hard and gaining a lot of yardage. So we'll look for some big things from those guys tonight. Set for the opening kickoff now as Newport goes through their kickoff procedure here, whatever you want to call it. And here we go. Okay. Kick's going to be taken over the far side at the 25-yard line, and knocked down almost immediately after gaining maybe 5 is young Justin Adams.
That's number 16,
Justin Adams playing varsity football here and brings the ball back to the 30, so it'll be first and 10. Run back of about 10 yards maybe. Might have picked it up around the 20, something like that. So it'll be first and 10 for the Trojans.
In the backfield, Shadle, quarterback, and Rickert and Ayers, the running back.
Shadle is at the quarterback spot for the Trojans. He sends Undercuffler in motion. Handoff is to Rickert. Gene going to try the left side for the first time tonight. Gets maybe a yard or so out to the 31. Not much more than that. It'll be second down and 9. Newport that time turning in Gene's first attempt around the left side, but Gene ran that with a lot of success last weekend as the Trojan left side of that Trojan offensive line was giving Rickert some good yardage around that left side spot. So we'll see what happens. Chip Wetzel, the flanker on the near side of the field for UDA on this play. In the slot on this side is Undercuffler. Back to pass goes Shadle for the first time tonight. He's looking, got per time, dumps it over the middle to Todd Ayers. And Ayers has got it, and he goes out to the 45-yard line. Flag thrown in there towards the end of the play. So we'll have to wait and see what that was.
A screen pass to the fullback.
Let's see, it could be a clip or something out where it occurred. We'll see here in just a second.
Let's hold everything for a second.
It's going to go against the Trojans, and it's a biggie. Going to march the ball all the way back here to the 28-yard line. Clip is the call. It'll be
A clip
second down and 12. So that nice screen pass to Ayers is temporarily washed out. See if we can come up with that one again.
28-yard line, second down and 12.
Second and 12. We'll see how the Trojans set it up this time. Looks like the same formation with this man in the slot on the near side of the field. Here's a pitch back here to Rickard. He's got it. He dives out here to the 30 or to the 28-yard line.
Tackle made by
gain of only about 2 on that play. So it'll be third down and 11.
Be third down and 9. The coaches for Newport, head coach is Charles Trojan.
Third and 11. Mr. Klinger here a little fouled up right now. He's calling it third and 9, but it's actually third and 11. Rich gonna keep it. Well, going around the left side, dumps it over the head of Ayers over there. Goes as an incompletion.
J.J. Richard.
And it'll bring up a fourth down. Now the Trojans will have to punt the ball away.
Fourth down and 11, I'm sorry. Fourth down, 11 at about... the 29-yard line.
Fourth and 11, back to punt will be Jason Undercuffler.
Undercuffler back to kick.
He'll be punting from around his own 23-yard line as he steps ahead. Good snap. And a nice punt. Nice punt. Coming out here, going to be taken at the 32-yard line, and boy, he is tackled immediately in there by Bellis. Great job by Brian Bellis. Man, he got down there, and a nice spiraling punt by Jason Undercuffler that time. Gives the Buffaloes the ball first and 10 on their own 31-yard line. Wow, nice punt that time and great coverage. It'll be first and 10 for Newport as they go to work here now. They have Matt Dudley is the quarterback for the Buffaloes. Dudley rolling back, looking to pass, a lot of rush, but now he's got a man out here, and the ball is incomplete. Broken up very nicely out there by Bellis and Jeff Lentz. Brian Bellis with the big effort out there on that one. Goes as an incompletion. Intended for Hildebrandt, number 24. But goes an incompletion. It'll be second down and 10. So both teams coming out here now looking to be aggressive on offense. Here's Dudley with a handoff, and this time stopping right away is Gene Rickard along with Todd Ayers and number 83 in there with a nice stop. That's that Jason Mahoney.
A few of the other Trojans helped them out there.
There's Rickard Mahoney coming up to make the stop.
Third down and 9.
Good job that time by the Trojan defense. It's third, loss of nearly 1 on the play, so it'll be third and about 11. The ball shifted back now a little bit closer to the 30-yard line. So a big third and 11 play. Jamie Hildebrandt will split out wide on the near side of the field, and he's got a buddy out there with him. Quarterback looking over on the other side, passes one high and deep, but it's a little too long as Dudley fired that pass just kind of, I don't know if it got away from him or what, but too high, and goes as an incompletion. Singleton was the intended receiver on that last play, but no dice as he passed it about 4 yards over everybody's head. So it'll bring up a fourth now and 11, and Newport will punt the ball away.
28, Jake Singleton.
Here's an excellent snap from center, and we'll see what kind of kick he. Low kick. Line drive going to be taken out here by Lentz and dropped, and Lentz picks it up again right at the 38-yard line. So that time Jeff, who normally appears to be sure-handed, kind of had a little bit of trouble. Maybe it's those gloves. You need some stickum on those gloves, whatever. Goes as an first and 10 now for UDA. First and 10 on the Trojans' 38-yard line. Good field position. Undercuffler, the flanker out on the far side of the field this time. Chip Wetzel on the near side. Shadle's got it, hands it off to Rickard.
Rickard on
Gene
the carry
rolling along
for
the
about,
right or the left
maybe
side of that
3.
Trojan line, gets a couple. About a pair. Call it second down and
We have an injured
8.
Newport player on the
Newport
field.
Buffalo down after that last play. So we'll take a timeout here while they attend to this young Buffalo lineman. Be right back. Okay, here we go. 1st and 10. Or rather 2nd and 8 after the injury timeout. Shadle going back to pass, getting a rush, sneaks away from a couple of people. A flag is thrown over the far side, but Rich is put down back there after a loss of about 4 or so.
I believe.
The call will go against the Trojans. I do believe it's going to be holding against UDA, so Trojans kind of finding it a little tough to get it going here right now as they come up with a holding penalty. And that's going to give the Buffaloes a choice of putting the Trojans back 5 more. That's all. It would bring up a 3rd and 12, or they're asking here for a little help from their coaching staff, or it would bring up a 3rd and or a 2nd and 17. So they're going to take them back. Going to march the ball back all the way here to the
15-yard penalty against the Upper Dauphin.
29-yard line.
Is called, moving the ball back.
So it'll be even longer than I said. Looks like it's going to be a second down and about 22.
About 23.
Okay. Second down and long for UDA. Motion goes undercover. He's got the ball. Going to try to sweep around the right side. Got a little bit of protection, but now somebody sneaks in there behind him.
Maybe about 3 or 4 more
and
number 51, that's Adam Robinson. Making a stop.
Jason maybe
third down
picked up a couple. Not too many. And it'll be 3rd and about, gosh, 20. In fact, it doesn't look like he really got much of anything out of that one. It'll be 3rd down and very long. Handoff this time to Todd Ayers.
Play, gain about maybe 3 or 4 in the
Todd
play.
gets a couple out to the 26-yard line, but not too much on that one again. So the Trojans are going to be forced to punt again. That time the Trojan offense never got it going, but they did commit a couple of real critical penalties. Picked up a couple penalties, and that really put them in the hole. So it's 4th down and a bunch, and see if Undercover can get off a good. Ooh, here's a low snap, but Jason, he handled it well. He got a really nice thing out here to the 35, and once again, Brian Bellis goes down and makes the stop.
Good coverage by the
Super
UDA.
coverage by UDA that time on that punt.
Downfield
Once again, Brian Bellis doing a job, and so it'll be 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line now. So on the exchange of balls that time, the Newport Buffaloes pick up about 6 yards. They had it about the 31 last time. They held the Trojans, and now they got it back at about their own 36. So 1st and 10 for the Buffaloes from their own 36.
Fullback Dick and number 32 Geigley.
Here's Deadly. He hands it off to the fullback Dick, and or rather, let's see, who is this? He drives all the way out to the 44-yard line. Excellent run that time by that young bull. Wow. Tough run that time. Picks up 9, nearly at the 45-yard line. It's spotted, just short of the 45. 2nd and 1.
45-yard line.
Dudley hands off to the first man this time. This is number 44, Mike Dick, and Dick runs ahead to the 47-yard line. Enough for the 1st down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Buffaloes on their own 47-yard line. Trojan defense is Tom Paul in there in the center of that Trojan defensive line.
First down for Newport,
along with Brian
47-yard
Mace.
line.
A lot of tonnage in there to get around, but see if these guys can tighten up here now. Here's number 32 with it. He dives over the midfield stripe into Trojan territory at the Trojan 49. Picked up nearly 4. It'll be second down and, well, we'll give him
a gain of about
4 about, so it'll be second and 6.
In UDA territory at the UDA 49.
About a second and 6 situation. Dudley looking to pass. Got a man down here streaking. Number 12. This ball's going to be, nearly picked off by Brian Bellis. Brian had the fingers on it, but it went right off his fingertips, so it was broken up nicely.
Third down and 6.
Buffalo unable to pull it in, and Brian Bellis unable to pull it in also on the interception attempt, but nevertheless brings up a third and 6. Hey, this Dudley can throw the ball. Had number 12 out there to receive that one, but nicely defended by Brian Bellis. Here's Dudley again. He'll pitch it over this way. Got some guys coming up here. Oh, nice tackle made by 86. Brian Bellis again. We got a Trojan down here now. Looks like Gene Rickert might have got a pop in stomach or whatever. I'm not really sure.
Looked like
Gene a little bit shook up, but boy, a nice stop that time by Bellis as the kid got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was all. So it'll be 4th down and 6. And the Buffaloes will punt. Single man back for the Trojans this time is Jeff Lentz.
Number 15, Jeff Lentz.
1 man back. Good snap. Nice punt. Going to go right to the Trojans, right in the middle of that pile there, and they're going to allow it to roll dead, and it's down at the 18-yard line, or 19. We'll call it the 19-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for UDA at their own 19. Trojans without real good field position as they start this drive back at their own 19. We got 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. No score. Trojans going to try to do something about that on this drive, I do think. Here's a handoff, and struggling up the middle for a couple of yard or 3 is Todd Ayers.
Buffaloes on his back. Gain about.
Mr. Klinger says Ayers carried a herd of buffaloes on his back, and of course we all heard of buffaloes. So UDA picking up only 1 or so, about 1.5, something like that. Todd that time. So let's see what gives this time. Setting them up. Here's a pass. Looking over the middle. Fires one. It's complete. A nice pass to Chip Wetzel. Chip grabs it very nicely. Man, that was a nice pass and a darn nice reception. Chip hauled that thing in out at the 30-yard line, ran it to the 34. So excellent pass and an excellent catch. Those two young fellas teaming up nicely on a 14-yarder. And so it's a 1st and 10 for the Trojans in better territory now. They're out at the UDA 34. Nice, excellent pass. Sharp pass that time by Shadle, and a nice catch. Here's a pitch over to the far side. Todd Ayers got it. Holding's going to be called again against the Trojans, I'm afraid, as Todd bursts ahead to the 43-yard line, but I believe that one's coming back, as the Trojans look like they may be called for a hold over there. It is. It's holding against UDA once again. So Todd with a couple of good runs, and in both cases, he's going to have them called back. Ayers that time picked up about 7. Well, that will be to no avail, quite obviously. The Newport Buffaloes will take the penalty, beyond no doubt about that. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty, I do believe, and they will spot the ball back at the 28-yard line. Holding the call against UDA.
Ball against Upper Dauphin. Takes the ball back to the 28-yard line, where it'll be
UDA just self-destructing a little bit here as they get something good going, and then they come up with some kind of a penalty. Let's go in tight on Shadle this time, see what's going on. He's going to pass. He drops way back. Looking over here for a little screen. He fires it, and Gene Rickards got it, and he's still on his feet. Spins around out there a couple of times, and finally trapped out there by Adam Robinson of the Newport Buffaloes.
2 on the play will make it 3rd down and 14. Ball at
gain of a
the
couple.
30-yard
It'll
line.
be
With 1 minute
2nd down and
seconds left here in the
14.
first quarter of a 0-0 tie.
We're down to 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the first period. There's a handoff, and going virtually nowhere is Undercuffler. That one didn't get much at all.
Newport was not
and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 17 as the Trojans continue their kind of backward march here now.
That's number 24, Jamie Hildebrand made.
Okay, we've got a 3rd and 16 coming up here now for UDA, and now time is called, and too much time was taken by the Trojans, so this will march them back another 5.
Too much time
and
taken by UDA.
That's going to give the Trojans a little more trouble as it sets the ball back at the 22-yard line.
3-yard line.
So it'll be third down now and 21 or so. Wetzel, the flanker, on the near side of the field for UDA. Back to pass goes Shadle. Not much of a rush. Rich has got time. Dumps one out here deep. Got a man there, and it is incomplete. Oh, Jeff just unable to bring that one in.
Pass right there, in and out of the hands of Jeff.
Boy, that was there, and Jeff probably should have caught it.
Was covering on the play.
But my, oh my, what a nice attempt that time. Shadle to Lentz. Just a little bit unable to hold it. Okay.
Bring up a 4th down.
We'll bring a...
we have another penalty on the play.
Wait a minute. 3rd down. Do have another penalty. This is going to go the other way this time. It looks like this one will be against Newport. And it's a pretty big one.
Against Newport.
It's a 15-yarder.
15-yarder.
And that's going to be roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer is called.
And that'll give the Trojans now a 3rd down and 8. So that's making it look a little different. No, it's 4th down, I guess. Wait a minute. A little confusion now. It will be 1st down. Automatic 1st down.
Automatic 1st down.
Okay, an automatic 1st down on a roughing the passer.
1st and 10.
Man coming over here to explain this to
the Trojans will have the ball
Coach Hain,
at the 37-yard line.
First and 10, UDA on the 37-yard line. Here comes Shadle looking to pass. He's in the grasp of one fella, spins away, but gets trapped back there.
Made by number 78.
By 78.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
First period comes to the end on that play. So it'll be a 2nd down. Trojans loss of about 7. Back to the 30-yard line, so we'll go the opposite way here now.
The score at the end of the first quarter.
We have no score after 1 period of play.
The Trojans of Upper Dauphin 0. I'd like to announce that there will be a meeting of the Trojan Football Club this coming Wednesday night at 8 o'clock at the high school in Coach Hain's classroom. That's this Wednesday night at 8 o'clock in Coach Hain's classroom, a meeting of the Trojan Football Club. Also, the UDA Marching Band will perform at Central Dauphin High School, the Central Dauphin High School Band Competition tomorrow evening. Starting time for the competition.
Hey, here we go now.
Second down about 17.
Here comes Shadle. He gets back over here to the
number 74, Dave Shutt, and a number of other Buffaloes.
31-yard line. Not much gain on that play.
Corral.
It'll be
Shadle at about
3rd down
yard line will be
and about
3rd
15.
down and 15.
Third down and about 15. Shadle looking to pass. firing one deep.
Shadle's pass in.
Ball tipped up in the air, picked off here by number 26, and he's down back here. Hold everything. Number 29, or whatever his name is.
There by number
28.
12.
Okay, that's Jake Singleton.
We got a flag on the play, though. Okay.
And there is a flag laying up here.
Yes, there is a flag on the play up here at about the 44-yard line.
That time the ball tipped up in the air and alertly picked up by number 28, Singleton, but there is a flag here.
What the call will be.
Flag's laying at the 44-yard line. So if it gets against the Newport Buffaloes, let's see. Illegal receiver downfield against the Trojans will be wiped out, and it will be a first
downfield is declined by Newport.
and 10 for Newport down at the 31-yard line.
1-yard line.
Well, the Trojans, again, struggling here. They played a super game last week, totally in control against the Vikings. And tonight now they're just haven't really gotten on track yet. It'll be first and 10. Newport. It's a handoff to number 44, Mike Dick, and he gets out to the 35-yard line.
Number 62, Sport Bingaman.
62, Sport Bingaman in there for the Trojans, credited also with helping out on that stop. Chad Kreiser over here at a defensive end position. Here goes quarterback back to pass, fires one off the hands over there of number 31,
number 28, Jake
Kerry Wiest.
And almost picked off by number 31, Kerry
Gosh,
Wiest.
Kerry had an opportunity to pick that one off. It just went off his fingertips, and had he picked that off, he had a couple of other kids out there that could have ran some good interference for him, but tonight the ball is just not quite bouncing the Trojans' way so far. So it goes as an incompletion. It'll be third down and 6. Dudley with it. He's still spinning ahead with it here as he gets out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. It looks from here as though it'll be a first down, and it is. It's first and 10 now for Newport at their own 42. Both defenses have played well so far. Trojans now, or the Newport rather, has the ball at their own 42-yard line. They send two flankers on the near side of the field on this play. Dudley hands it off. He bounces ahead of one guy, does Dick. And coming up with the stop that time is that Sport Bingaman making the stop. But the ball is out to the 46-yard line. Rich Kerwin also in there helping out on that stop.
The second down and 6. The ball at about the Newport 45.
Second and 6. Dudley hands it off. Up the middle he goes. Hung on to in there by number 76, Tom Paul.
After a gain of maybe about
but the ball's out at the midfield stripe now, so Newport with a drive going here. Jason Geigley, the runner on the last play for Newport, brings up a third down and 2, or maybe 3. Big play here now as Dudley sets him up. Hands it off. No, he's still got it, and he busts ahead here now. Looks as the fumble out there. Let's see.
The Newport running back there.
I think Todd Ayers had made the stop on Dudley, and Dudley fumbled the ball. Geigley recovered it for the Newport Buffaloes right at the 50-yard line, laying squarely on the 50, and it'll bring up a fourth down now. So the Trojans with a break there, as Dudley did have the first down, but then fumbled the ball back a yard or two, and that made the difference. Jeff Lentz will get another opportunity to run back a punt as he stands back at his own 20-yard line. Young Buffalo punter set. Low snap. Bounces up there, but he gets it. Here's a kick. Going to angle it down this way. It's going to take an excellent roll
inside the
My
10-yard
goodness,
line.
it looks like it's down to about the 3 or something
Down
like
about
that.
the 2-yard line.
Man alive, the 2 actually. What a beautiful punt
yards
by that kid, and a super super Newport roll afterwards.
Put the Trojans deep
Man,
in their own
Trojans
territory.
kind of playing a football game like Penn State played a week ago here against Virginia. Always in desperate straits, it seems. So we'll see now what the Trojans can do with it. Timeout's going to be called by UDA with 7:33 remaining here in the first half. No score.
Trojan offense.
A struggle here against the Newport Buffaloes.
I'd like to mention that up in the booth we have here 4 free tickets to the Penn State.
Okay, the Trojan timeout is over, and gosh, Coach Hain hardly got off the field when the play was run. May have almost missed it. Almost did miss it. Anyway, Shadle handing off to Ayers, and Todd picked up about 2. The ball out at the 6-yard line, so it'll be second down and 7.
Looked like number 74, Dave Shutt, made the initial stop. It'll be second down and 8.
Flanker moves out on the far side of the field now for UDA. Shadle's got it, hands it off here to Todd Ayers. Todd maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, and not much more than that, as that Newport defense pretty big and pretty tough in there.
Got much of a gain there, maybe about a yard.
Not much going on that time for Todd.
Maybe 2. It'll be third down and 6.
It'll bring up a third and 6 now as the ball's out to the 8. 6 minutes, 35 seconds remaining here in a scoreless first half. Looks like it might be one of those kind of games. Chip Wetzel flanked out on the near side of the field. Here's a Shadle with it, and Shadle runs it all the way out here
I think he picked up the first down
around the
by number 28,
20-yard line or 18-yard line. Excellent run that time on the little scramble around the right side. So it'll bring up a first down. First and 10 now. The ball out at the 18-yard line. Shadle with it. Hands it off. Trying to go up the middle, I think, is Ayers, and Todd with a couple of tough yards or 2. Looks like he gained about 1. It'll be second down and 9.
Maybe a gain of about a half a yard.
Ball will be spotted at the 18-yard line now.
Ball at about the 18-yard line.
5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in period number 2. Undercuffler flanked out on the near side. Shadle going in motion, pitches it back over there to Rickert. And Gene still on his feet. Now he gets bumped down over there. At the, wait a minute, a little bit of extra stuff here maybe going on here. And the players come in there and settle that little fracas pretty quickly. Pointing some fingers in here is one official. At any rate, there was no gain on the play. It'll be third and 9.
For UDA, more or less third down and 10. There was a loss of about a yard in the play.
Third down and about 10. As Undercuffler flanks out on the near side of the field again here for UDA. Shadle going to scramble around the left side this time. Rich with a lot of running room. Rich all the way out here to the 37-yard line. Nice run that time by Rich Shadle.
Rich Shadle brought down by number 12.
My, oh my, Rich picking his way through there. Got some good blocking right at the line of scrimmage. Then he went through the secondary pretty well all the way out to the 37-yard line.
Brings the ball up to the
spotted back to the 36 actually,
line,
or 37, somewhere around there.
Over 4 minutes left here in the first half.
Nice run that time, getting the Trojans out of terrible field position into good field position now with 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. Rich sets him up. He's still got it. Looking to pass, getting a good rush. Now he's got some running room around the right side. Spins away from one guy. Now he gets out to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 4.
No one open.
Rich just bounces right back up. No problem. Bounces up immediately, and he gained about 4 on that one, so it'll be a second down and 6. We have timeout now as Rich has a helmet problem.
Gain of about 3 on the play. It'll be second down and 7.
Good job that time.
At the Trojan 40-yard line.
Second and 6, really. Ball on the Newport side of the 40-yard line at about the 41. And Rich is going to be ready to go here in a moment. Excellent run that time of about 4 yards. Nice run. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in a scoreless first half. It's time number 85. Troy Klinger will flank out on the near side of the field for UDA. Here's Rich. Is he looking for Troy? Might be. Nope. Going to dump it over here to Todd Ayers. Todd's got it. Bumps out of the grasp of one Buffalo, but another Buffalo coming up there to knock him over after a gain of about only maybe 2 or 3. Looks like a gain of about 2. It'll bring up a third down and 4. Ball will be at the UDA 43-yard line.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Not too much on that one. Looked like it could have developed into a little more, but
43.
Todd's kind of stopped by the first guy and then gave enough time for some of his buddies to come up as he spun away from the first would-be tackler, but in the arms of the second guy, and that was all she wrote. Okay, here's another delay of the game penalty, I would believe, going to be called against the Trojans as the deep official back here, whatever his official title is, made the call, and that's going to cost the Trojans 5. Delay of the game, second one of the evening against UDA. It'll move the Trojans back 5, bring up a 3rd and 9 now, with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining here in the first half. Once again, the Trojans seem to have something going there, and then all of a sudden this dumb delay penalty. But anyway, here we go on a 3rd and 9. Shadle with it, going to roll right, got the option to pitch it back, still has it, still on his feet, dives ahead here to the 39-yard line, and that's all. Not too much gain on that play, so it'll bring up a 4th and about 8, and so Jason Undercuffer will be called upon to punt it again out here for UDA.
At the UDA 39-yard line.
Jason will be standing back here at his 25-yard line when he punts this ball. 4th and 8, nice snap. Punt, nice punt, nice spiraling punt's going to be taken back at the 24. And a nice tackle again made by Brian Bellis. Brian Bellis are the only man we need on punt coverage, as Brian has covered the punt, I think, every time the Trojans have punted it, and has allowed virtually no run back at all tonight. So good job being done by Brian Bellis out there on that punt coverage squad. It'll bring up a 1st and 10 now. The ball will be spotted at the 28-yard line of the Buffaloes with a minute and 24 seconds remaining here in the first half. Flankers out wide, 2 of them on the near side. Handoff is to number 44, Mike Dick, and Mike takes the ball out to the 33-yard line. Gain of about 4 almost. Bingaman and Rickard making the stop for UDA. It's going to be a long 3 yards gain that time.
33-yard line of Newport.
Flankers out on both sides again here now as Dudley sets them up for his Newport Buffaloes. He's still got it. Looking, firing one down this way. It is incomplete. Intended out here for Jamie Hildebrand. But some good coverage that time by Rich Shadle. And it'll go as an incompletion. Stop the clock and bring up a 3rd down and a long 6 with just 40 seconds remaining in the first half. 40 seconds to go. First half of play. No score. Newport really playing them tough. Fourth and 7. Pitch is over this way, and let's see. He's got maybe a yard or so.
12, Rich Shadle coming out.
Shadle coming up there and making the
Defensive
hit on him.
Back position to make the tackle.
And it's a gain of about 2. It'll be 4th down and
Timeout
5.
Up
UDA calls timeout now. The Newport Buffaloes have the ball out at the 34-yard line with 22 seconds remaining here in the first half. Well played first half if you like defensive football.
Parents?
Okay, here's the 4th down play, and UDA will get the ball back as they send Jeff Lentz back to take this kick. Here it is. We'll see what Jeff does with it. He's going to signal a fair catch, and he makes it at the 36-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for UDA at the 36. 16 seconds remaining here in the first half. No score. Tim Ressler in the ball game as a tight end now for UDA. Send everybody out for a pass, huh? 16 seconds remaining. Shadle's got it. Gonna hand it off here to Rickard on a draw, and Rickard unable to do much with it as he gets back maybe near the line of scrimmage. There's a loss on the play of about 1 or 2. UDA will call time with just 4 seconds remaining, so the Trojans will get one more play off before the first half ends. Kind of a frustrating first half offensively for both clubs. Trojans in pretty much terrible field position during the first half, and penalties helping their woes tonight, or aiding the woefulness of the offense during the first half here. So, back after the Trojan timeout. Okay, here comes the final play of the first half, barring a penalty. Shadle back to pass. Rich going to try to air one out. He does. Fires it down the middle. It is incomplete. Okay, no, it's incomplete, and that's going to end the first half of play.
Intercepted, I guess.
Or was it intercepted? Might have been intercepted, but it doesn't matter at this point because it ended the first half of play. So,
it's intended for number 24.
First half ends with no score. And we go into the locker room waiting to play another 24 minutes and see if someone, hopefully UDA, can score. At the end of one half of play, 0-0, we're tied. Okay, we're getting set for half number 2 here at the ballpark tonight. Trojans and Newport in a battle. 0-0 at the end of the first half. Rich Shadle, Brian Mace, Gene Rickard, and Brian Bellis out there as the co-captains. Again, as we get set to go, the beginning of the second half of play. And to begin the second half, the Trojans will kick off to the Newport Buffaloes as we begin. Trojans look to get a little bit more offense going here in the second half, and see if we can't pull this win off and get on to next week's ball game. This has been a struggle tonight. Just enough of this. Let's go. Be right back with the kickoff. Okay, Gene Rickard has teed it up as the Trojans will kick off for the first time this evening. Both teams having kicked off one time with no score in the ball game. So here we go as Rickard got it teed up, and we're set to go. Singleton and Dudley back to get this kick. Ball's going to be touched by a Newport Buffalo and down back there by Mike Dick as he lays on the ball at the 23-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Newport Buffaloes on their own 23-yard line. What a struggle this has been, and we'll see if we can make some headway here against those Newport Buffaloes now. Tom Paul in there along with Brian Mace at the center of that Trojan defensive line. Sport Bingaman defending as a defensive end over here. Rich, here's handoff to Mike Dick, and a couple of Trojans in there. Rich Kerwin in there making the stop for the Trojans with a bunch of other people, Rickard, so forth, but Rich Kerwin making the initial hit. He's playing a defensive back position here now, 42.
Gain of 1 will be second down.
Okay, it was a gain of just 1 on that good defensive play. So Dudley, he hands it off and trying to go up the middle. Looked like the ball was loose. And some of the Trojans are indicating fumble. Let's see while they rule it. No, Tom Paul came up with the ball. We got a man down out here as Rickard seems to have injured his shoulder. And Gene going to come off rather gamely here. He's under his own power, but Rich definitely favoring his shoulder. And Mike Wirtz will check Rick out. Okay,
all right, we have a third down.
Here we go in a 3rd and 7, gain of about 2 on the last play. Dudley pitches it back over there and going around the right side is number 32, Geigley. He's got a lot of pursuit over there as number 83, Jason Mahoney, come up there with Kerry Weiss, but Mahoney making some good pursuit that time around that
helping to make the stop.
right side.
Gain of about 3, it'll be 4th
Picked up 3, it'll be 4th and 3. Punter back at his own 17-yard line. One man deep is Jeff Lentz for the Trojans.
Is Jeff Lentz.
Here's a good snap. Nice kick, high kick. Jeff's going to take it at his 38-yard line. Picks it off, and he's tackled almost immediately there. Might have got a yard back. He took it at the 38 and got it out to the 40. So it'll be 1st and 10 now with UDA in good field position to start the second half. Richie Shadle checking into the ball game for UDA. Okay, now, got to get this offense rolling here. Shadle handing it off. Here comes Ayers, and Todd dives ahead here to the 42-yard line, or 47-yard line, rather. Nice run that time by Todd Ayers. We get this young lad running hard like that a couple of times here. We'll soften up that Newport defense.
Make it 2nd down and 2.
2nd and 2. They spotted at the 47-yard line. Be 2nd and 2. Shadle gonna rush it ahead. He's got the first down and plenty more as he spins into Newport territory to the Buffalo 42-yard line. Good run that time by quarterback Rich Shadle.
On the play, takes the ball down to the 42-yard line.
Excellent run that time as he picked up about 8 on the run. Looks like it'll be 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line, and the Trojans on their best offensive movement of the night. Here goes Ayers again. Pops into the middle. He's going to be hung on, but drives ahead. Now that's Todd. Driving down to the 39-yard line. Excellent run that time by Ayers. Picked up a couple of yards, maybe 3 or so. They were tough yards, but he was stopped right around the line of scrimmage and dove ahead for about 2 more.
A few other Buffaloes helping to make the stop.
2nd down and 7, we'll call it. About a long 7.
About 2nd down and 7 at the 39-yard line.
Ball at the 39 now. So the Trojans got it wound up here. See if they can keep it going. Here's a handoff to Ayers. Driving up the middle for maybe only 1. Not much more than that as he got it down to the 38-yard line. Good stop that time by Tom Weltmer. Weltmer, not Welmer, or Welker, but Weltmer. Making a stop in there for the Buffaloes. Becomes a 3rd and 6. Undercuffler and Wetzel flank out on the far side of the field in this 3rd and 6 situation. Shadle hands it off, gives it to Ayers, and Todd drives it to the 37. Not much gain on that play, maybe a yard.
Gain about maybe.
It'll be 4th down and about 5. Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. So the Newport Buffaloes tighten up the defense, and they've got the Trojans in a punting situation now, as we have a
Undercuffler,
4th down and
back to
5. Undercuffler, Jason will be standing here at his own 48-yard line. Gets a nice snap. And a fake. And around with it comes Rickard. And Gene Rickard dives ahead to the first down. On a great fake that time. The Trojans pulled it off very well. It's a first down for UDA. Geigley and Stroll come up and knock him out of bounds, but Gene Rickard spinning around, getting a good handoff from Undercuffler. And he goes for a first down right at the 30-yard line. So look out now.
For a gain of about 7 yards and a UDA
Getting
first down.
sneaky out here.
At the Newport,
Excellent play
30-yard line.
at the 30. First time I've seen the Trojans use the fake this year. Here's a handoff. Rickard diving ahead for about 3 down to the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Good drive that time by Gene Rickard.
Brought down by Weltmer.
Weltmer in there for the stop, with the stop again for the Buffaloes, but Gene picked up about 3. Second and 7. Dan Scheib just checked out of the ball game for the Trojans. Here's Shadle, pitches it back here to Rickard. Rickard with a little bit of room now, gets inside the 25 to the 24. That'll pick up about 3 or so. We'll see where they've spun it. It looks like it'll be on the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 4.
At the 24-yard line.
So the Trojans required to come up with a big 3rd and 4 play now. Ball right at the 24-yard line. I think this is for sure the deepest penetration the Trojans have had, or as a matter of fact, I think any team has had in the ball game. 3rd and 4 from the 24. Shadle handing it off to Gene Rickard. He dives to the 23 maybe. Might have got a yard or so out of it. We'll see. Not much more than that's going to bring up another 4th down play in this struggle for the Trojans. He did gain 1. It'll be 4th and 3.
4th down and about 3.
And the Trojans now will call timeout. As Coach Haynes says, well, wait a minute, we can't pull the fake again here. So it'll be 4th and 3. The ball at the 23-yard line. And we'll be right back after the decision is made as to what kind of a play we're going to run. Coach Haynes will enter the huddle and see if we can come up with something here to gain us a first down. We're faced with the 4th and about 3. Jeff Lentz will come into the ball game now as Tim Ressler checks out. Lentz in there probably as a receiver on this 4th and 3. They're going to try to utilize Jeff's height. See if we can get something out of that. So we'll be right back after the Trojan timeout. Okay, the timeout is over. And so biggest play for the Trojan offense tonight coming up here now as we got a 4th and 3 from the 23. 2 men split out wide on the far side of the field. Shadle looking to pass. Dumps one over the middle. It is complete, I think, to Jeff Lentz. Wow, what a catch that time. And Lentz a little bit shaken up on the play as he took that ball right in the stomach. And Jeff's going to come off, but another sharp pass by Rich Shadle. And another good catch, this time by Jeff Lentz. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans now on the 13-yard line.
1st and 10 at that spot.
1st and 10 at about the 13.
Completion to Jeff Lentz.
Trojans definitely on a march here now. Here it goes, Rickard. Going to try to spread them out here along the left side. Dives down to the 11.
Met first by.
Picked up maybe a yard or so. It'll be 2nd down and
number 32,
9.
Jason Geigley, I'm sorry, Jason
Got the ball down to about the
on the tackle.
12, somewhere in there.
Gain of about 1.
It'll be 2nd down and 9. He picked up a long one. 2nd and 9.
And
Tim Ressler back into the ball game now as the tight end for UDA. Center in there is Josh Schwenke, I believe. No, maybe not. Pass, anyway, tipped nicely there by number 32. Jason Geigley making a good defensive play that time on a pass that was intended out there, I guess, for Chip Wetzel. But Geigley coming up and making a good defensive play for the Buffaloes. It'll be 3rd and a long 9. The clock stops with 4:01 remaining in period 3. Undercuffler and Wetzel flank out wide on the far side of the field this time for UDA. Shadle's got it, looking to pass, dumps one over the middle. Todd Ayers has it. Ayers down to about the 6-yard line, something like that. It'll be short of the first down, but about a yard or so maybe. See where they're going to spot it. They're going to spot it right at the 5-yard line, so it'll be 4th down and about 3.
The ball at about the 4-yard line.
Okay, 4th down and about 3 for the first down, about 6 for a touchdown. Here's Shadle, going to roll around the right side. He's looking over that way, dumps it ahead to Todd Ayers, and Todd dumped it down just short, perhaps, of the first down. We'll see. It's going to be awfully close and just a little short. Todd may be injured. He is down over there. And
might be injured on the play.
Todd not moving very much at all. And the ball is going to be short. It's going to give the Buffaloes a first down on the 5-yard line. 1st and 10, Newport on the 5. Todd back up on his feet. Possibly more discouraged with the effort than actually injured. And anyway, he'll come off now. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Newport now at their 5.
About 2 or 3 yard line.
Or maybe 4-yard line. We have a better vantage point up here than does Mr. K down the stairs in the booth, so it's actually about the 4 or 5. There's a man in motion this side, Dudley with it. He's going to try to rush it ahead to get a couple of yards and gets maybe 1. Not much more than that. Trojan line with
gain about 2
Mace
and
Paul, Matt Raybuck in there. Here comes Matt out, as a matter of fact. At any rate, good stop that time by the Trojan center of that defensive line. Gain of about 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Ball now at about the 7-yard line. Here's Dudley again with it. Hands it off to 44. Man's got a shot at him and brings him down. Nice tackle in there by number 20. And that's Denny Lanker. I believe it was Denny Lanker coming up there making that stop. Good job. We'll bring up a 3rd down and 7. No gain on the last play. Dudley sets him up in there. He pitches it back. 44 going to try to run the right side here, and he is knocked down in there by number 12, Rich Shadle. Gets the ball out to about the 11-yard line. That'll be short of the first down. Matter of fact, they'll bring up a 4th and about 3. Looks like a 4th and 3. So obviously the Newport Buffaloes will be forced to punt. He'll be punting right from the end zone, about 2 yards deep in the end zone with 1:25 remaining in period 3. Excellent ball game. Defensive struggle all the way. Okay, good snap. And a line drive punt. Going to bound out here at the Trojan 42-yard line. Now this rolls back to the 41. So it'll be 1st and 10 for UDA at the Newport 41-yard line. 1st and 10. Trojans again with excellent field position now as we get a little bit tougher on offense. Let's see if we can drive one in here. Dan Scheib out there in that Trojan offensive lineup. Shadle handing it off here to Ayers. Ayers drives ahead across the 40 into the 38-yard line. He'll pick up about 3. See where they spot it. Spot at the 38. Looks like a gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Wetzel comes off for the Trojans now. Coming in with the play is Troy Klinger. Klinger will be the flanker out on the far side of the field this time for the Trojans. Shadle sets him up in the Buffalo 38. Here comes a pitch over this way to Todd Ayers. Todd going to try to turn it. He's got a couple of yards and dives ahead across the 35 down to about the 33-yard line. Nice run that time by Todd, skittering along the left side of that defensive line here, or offensive line. Good job. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
Be 3rd down and 2 after a gain.
Ball now at the 33-yard line. Nice run that time by Todd Ayers. Josh Minke is the center for the Trojans. Handoff, Rickard up the middle. It dives across the 30 to the 29-yard line. That'll be a 1st down as Gene gains about 4.
Tackle again made by number 24.
That'll be a 1st and 10 now for UDA at the 29-yard line.
The Newport 30-yard line.
Again, the Trojans showing some good offensive play here right now. See if we can drive this one in. They got stalled last time on the 4, and that's going to end the 3rd period. So, boy, I'll tell you, should the Trojans be able to score here, drive this one in, it'll be very, very important. Trojans have not had a great offensive season. They scored 12 points last week in their game against the Vikings, winning the ball game 12-6. Dropped the first game 6-0
some of the other events that are going to happen
to the Tri-Valley Bulldogs, and now in a scoreless struggle here against Newport. So we'll be back with the final period of play in a 0-0 ball game in just 1 second.
There will be a homecoming game.
Trojans will have it 1st and 10. The ball will be at the 29-yard line of Newport. So the Trojans have never
the high school football field
had a, well, they have had a better position. I guess they had a 1st and 10 a little deeper than this, but at any rate, looks good to begin the 1st quarter with the Trojans with the ball on the Newport 29. Okay, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 29. Rich picks him up, gives it to Ayers. He dives ahead to the 27-yard line.
Gain about maybe 2
Gain of 2 or so. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Leading the way in there on the rush is number 73 for UDA, getting off of that pile. 73, that Matt Raybuck. Driving ahead, trying to clear an opening there for Todd Ayers. Split backs in the backfield, this time Rickard and Ayers. And looking to pass goes Shadle. Dumps one over here for Rickard. Gene's got it. Skids ahead from one guy. Rickard down here at the 17-yard line. Finally dumped down. It's going to be an up and off and 1st down. As Gene got ahead of the first defender, faked him out, went out around him, and
got away from a couple tackles.
Gene's okay, dragging one leg back to the huddle.
And the Trojans have
He'll be okay. No, here he comes off again. So Gene will be off just temporarily. Into the ball game goes Kerry Wiest to take Rickard's spot here momentarily. 1st and 10 for the Trojans on the 17. Again, Trojans with an excellent drive. 10 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the ball game. Here's Shadle looking, going up the middle. Richie Shadle to the 2. Touchdown! All right. Rich diving in, a great 17-yard option run by Richie Shadle, and the Trojans are up 6-0. Good job, Rich, going over the left side that time on the option, kept the ball, found a nice hole right in front of him, got down to about the 2 where his worst opposition was, and blasted right through for the TD. All right, score came with 10:42 remaining here in the ball game, and the Trojans up 6-0. Rickard tees the ball up at the 10. And Shadle will be the holder as we attempt the 1-point conversion. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. Kick is no good. No good.
To the right.
Went off to the right. So Trojans unsuccessful this year in extra point attempts, but they do lead in the ball game now with 10:42 remaining. Trojans up by 6-0. Be right back. Good drive. Trojans getting the offense going here in the second half. No question about it. Drove down to the 4-yard line on the previous series, and now Shadle takes in a 17-yard keeper for the score. So we've got a 6-0 ball game, and UDA will tee it up. All those fellas doing a heck of a job that time. Everybody contributing to that series, that's for sure. Opening some holes, getting some good runs that time from the backs. through those holes that are opened, and so we've got a 6-0 ball game. Jean's got her teed up. Here's the kick. Low kick, going to come over here, and let's see. Picked up down here by number 33.
Chad
Zering picks it up for Newport. Not a real good kick, but anyway. Ball goes
32-yard line where Newport will take over.
Dead. It's down at the 32. Newport on their own 32-yard line now. They've got 10.5 minutes to go here in the ball game. Matt Dudley at the quarterback spot. He hands it off here to number 32, Geigley. Geigley gets a yard or so as he dives down near the 35-yard line. Looks like he picked up a long one.
Looked like he was tripped up a little bit.
So it'll be second down and about 9. Tom Paul credited with the stop.
It'll be second down and 8 at the 35-yard line.
Ball just shy of the 35. At the 34. Second, you can call it Mr. Klinger's long 8, or I'll call it a long 9, or a short 8. Dudley back, passes one over here. It's complete. And Singleton's got it out here at the midfield stripe. Shadle and Bellis and Lentz in there making the stop that time on Singletary, but now or Singleton rather, and the ball will be spotted right on the 50-yard line. So Newport showing a little sign of life here now on the offense, has the ball out at the 40-yard or 50-yard line. 9:25 remaining. Trojans up by 6. Here's Dudley handing it off, going up the middle for about 4 is Geigley down to the Trojan 46-yard line. Tom Paul in there helping to make the stop along with Troy Klinger and Gene Rickard. Gain of 4, it'll be second down and 6. Under 9 minutes remaining. Trojans got to come up big here now, make a stop on them and get that ball back. Dudley sets him up at the Trojan 46. Handoff and bouncing into the line there is
initially stopped by
44.
Rickard and Paul.
Mike Dick, and he got about 3
maybe
down
3
to the 42-yard line, something like that. It'll be 3rd and 2. Ball on the UDA 32.
Trojan 42-yard
Trojan fans over here exhorting the defense to get tough. Here's Dudley with it. 22's got it. Tries to spin around the right side. He's got the first down as Geigley goes into the 38-yard line of UDA. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Newport on the upper Dauphin 38.
First down.
Lentz and Paul coming up there to make the stop that time. Ball at the UDA 38. Trojan defense got to toughen up in here now. Dudley looking over this way, fires one. It's complete to number Singleton rather. Stop in there made by Brian Bellis, but it's at the 26, and that's another first down. So all of a sudden, both offenses coming to life here. Buffaloes now with a 1st and 10 on the Trojan 26. I think that's their deepest penetration of the night, I'm sure. 1st and 10, Newport on the UDA 26. 2 flankers out on the far side for the Buffaloes this time. Power I formation in the backfield for Newport. And the second man's got it, and man, somebody's got a hold of him. This time it is Todd Ayers coming up and making the stop. Geigley was the runner, but boy, Todd Ayers coming up there to make a big stop for UDA, and that's the kind of a play we need right now, and Todd supplied us with it. It's a 2nd down and 11. Loss of 1 on the play. Ball spotted back now at the 27-yard line or 28-yard line, something like that. About the 27.5, I guess, right in the middle of the stripe, of the 2 stripes. So here we go on a big 2nd and 11. Looks like a pass. He's looking over this way, and it's nearly tipped off there by Kerry Wiest, who got a hand on it, tipped it up in the air, but it goes as a completion to King or whatever. All right. Kane rather, B.J. Kane. It gained about 2. It'll be second down and 9.
It'll be third down and 9.
Or third down and 9. Ball right now at the 25-yard line with 6 minutes and 37 seconds. Remaining, the clock is stopped as he went out of bounds after the reception. Dudley picking it up, rolling right, looking, gonna tuck it away. Got a man coming up there to meet him. That's number 42. I think it was Rich Kerwin coming up there to make the defensive play that time for the Trojans. He gained a couple, but Rich coming up and making a good stop on him.
Be fourth down and 6.
It'll bring up a 4th and 6 now as the ball spotted at the UDA 26-yard line.
4-yard line. 21-yard line.
Or 21-yard line, make that, yeah. Me and Mr. Klinger and I both wrong that time. It's at the Trojan 21. 4th down and 6. Big play for the UDA defense. Here goes Dudley, back to pass, rolling out here on the left side. Fires one down towards the end zone. It's incomplete. Underthrown. Back there is Kerry Wiest defending on the play, but I'll tell you what, number 28 was in the end zone. Jake Singleton in the end zone that time for the Buffaloes, but the ball underthrown a little bit, and so UDA has held. Wow, good job that time by these young fellas. Sport Bingham and several of the other ball players have just trotted off the field. At any rate, it's a UDA ball, 1st and 10 now on their own 21-yard line with 6 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. Trojans flank out 2 fellas on this side of the field. This time it's going to be Justin Adams. Here's the handoff, and going up the middle for a couple goes Shadle. Rich picks up about 3 or 4. Move the ball out now to the 25-yard line, so gain of nearly 4 on the play. It'll be second down and 6. It's a long 3, darn close to 4 anyway. Here's young Justin. He flanks out here along with Troy Klinger for the Trojans. Handoff and going nowhere this time, losing maybe a yard. Will be Ayers, I believe. Yeah, I guess it was Todd, I think, ran that ball. Lost about a yard on the play, or what, maybe it was Rickard, I'm not sure. 3rd and 8, they say.
Number 76, Bob Shank.
Russell Manning into the ball game now with the play from the Trojan bench. He'll be the flanker out here on the near side of the field. Russell looks like he's going to do something this time. He looks pretty excited about this, so let's see. Here's Shadle. Shadle going to spin around this side. Now he's tackled with no gain on that play, as I don't know if that was a busted play or whatever. I don't know. Rich started off as though he might want to sweep the right side, but then turned it back in as the Buffalo defense got tough out there. So the Trojans do nothing with it on that series, and they'll give it away with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. So what we need now is a good snap and a good punt by Jason Undercuffler. Jason's been getting off some great ones tonight so far, and he'll be standing at his own 6-yard line when he punts this one. Good snap. And a nice spiraling punt. Going to be taken out. It's fumbled and recovered by Newport. Wow. What a great moment that was for the Trojans there for a second, as Dudley fumbled the ball, but then got it right back at the Trojan 49-yard line. So 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining. Trojans got to dig in. Here we go. Dudley hands it off. Driving ahead here to the Trojan 45-yard line is Geigley. Rickard coming up to make the stop, but Geigley drives it to the Trojan 45. Gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Newport with a good drive, had a good drive going here just the last series, and Trojan defense finally held down at the 21-yard line, but Newport looks determined. Here comes Dudley back. He's going to roll right, looking, firing one. Oh, the middle, it's complete. They got a man open. Oh, my goodness. And he goes down inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. That's that B.J. Kane kid. And he's got a Newport first down at the UDA 17.
Deep into UDA territory. Jeff
Wow.
Making the tackle at about the 17-yard line.
Wow, 1st and 10, Newport on the 17. We got 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining here in the ball game.
25-yard gain for Newport.
Dudley handing it off over here and driving into the pile, maybe a yard. He might have got it to the 16, and that's about all. Good job that time by Todd Ayers and Brian Mace.
Brian Mace on the tackle.
Coming up there to make the stop for the Trojans.
Second down at 9.
Picked up 1 to the 16. 2nd and 1. Or 2nd and 9. Gain of 1. Dudley handing it off, and up the middle goes number 20, Geigley again. Or rather 32, Geigley. He dives down to the 9. It'll be close to the first down, and we have an injured man out here now this time. Got a Trojan down. Now, I'm not sure
at the Trojan 8-yard line
who this young lad is, but at any rate, Coach Mike Wirtz will win and administer this young fellow. Can't really tell who that is from here. At any rate, it'll be 3rd down and 1. The ball at the Trojan 9. Be right back.
Under his own power.
Kerry Wiest was the injured ball player, and he comes off unaided by
3rd down and 1 now for Newport.
Wirtz. Here's a 3rd and 1 at about the 9. Pitch over here is 32. Going to go around the right side. He slides down. I don't know. Rich Shadle makes the stop as Geigley kind of fell over. It's going to be 4th and 1. The 4th and a long one, but that's beside the point. It's only about 4th and 1. Kerry Wiest returning to the Trojan lineup now as Richie Kerwin will come back out. But boy, oh boy, you talk about a big one. We've got 1 minute and 50 seconds. The clock is running. It's a 4th and 1, the ball at the 9. And a timeout will be called now by the Newport Buffaloes.
We'll talk things over here late in the football game.
So it's tough. Have it, 4th down and 1. The ball at the 9-yard line, not the 6 as it says on the scoreboard, but at the 9, 4th and
don't forget homecoming
1.
Weekend, October 13th and 14th. Friday night, there's going to be a number of activities.
Hey, hi, how you doing?
Including a snake dance and bonfire and a women's alumni basketball game and a men's alumni basketball game. And, of course, on Saturday then, in the morning there's a volleyball tournament. At 1:30, there's the homecoming football game with Millersburg and the crowning of the homecoming queen at halftime. There'll be alumni flag football game. Toss right here.
Here's that big 4th down and 1 play. The ball game on the line. Quarterback sets it up, gives it to 24. He dives ahead for, no he don't. He runs around the side over here. Bradley kept it. Faked me the heck out. It's a 1st down though.
Picked up the 1st down.
And the Trojans now in desperate trouble as the quarterback certainly faked me out that time. He kept it and ran around the right side. And Newport's got the ball down at the 2 or 1.
1st and goal.
Looks like about the, well, let's see it. Looks like at about the 2, actually. 1st and goal from the 2. 1 minute, 35 seconds remaining. Here goes 32 with it. He drives ahead, but not in. Geigley had it. And
did not make it as the middle of the Trojan line held.
Trojan line, and they're holding. That's that big number 72, Brian Mace, getting up off the bottom of that pile. So they held for the first crack at it. Gain of maybe a half a yard. It'll be second down and about 2 feet, something like that now, as he has driven it down to within a yard of the goal line. You have to watch this kid hurdling, get those Trojans fired up in there. Here's Dudley with it, trying to sneak it in. Did he get in?
Matt Dudley, let's see.
No, I don't think so. I see the Buffaloes signaling, but I don't see any signals from the officials. He did not make it. Yes, he did.
Touchdown.
Very, very late call. And Newport has tied up the ball game with just 39 seconds remaining. They have an opportunity to win it. We'll find out what kind of a kicker Newport has now, as the Trojans are faced with a tie or a possible potential defeat, I guess we'll say. Trojans will get the ball back with 39 seconds remaining, but boy, what a frustrating night, as both teams have struggled, and Newport came up with a big one here. Here's the snap, excellent snap. The placement is down, kick is blocked. So that brings a cheer, as it looked like maybe Troy Klinger came in and made the block. Either he or, I'm not sure if it wasn't Troy, but at any rate, heck of a job that time to block that kick. So the Trojans dodge a bullet there and may have to settle at least for a tie, but at least they will not get beaten. 6-6 with just 39 seconds remaining here in the ball game.
Up who blocked it, but fine defensive effort by
wow, tough
Trojans.
Ball game, and it's now 6-6.
Denied Newport the extra point.
Okay, we're set for the Newport kickoff now, and with any kind of luck, we'll have a 82-yard run back here by the Trojans. We'll have to make sure we have the tape running. Okay, here it comes. High kick, going to be taken back there at the 22 by Todd Ayers. Ayers up the middle. Todd still going. Now he gets dropped out here at the 41-yard line. A nice run back. 31 seconds remaining, so the Trojans now will go to work with just 31 seconds remaining. Timeout's going to be called by UDA. UDA alertly calls timeout now. So we got 31 seconds now remaining. Trojans with a timeout. There you got it. 31 seconds is all we have to go here now in the ball game. And the Trojans and Newport Buffaloes all tied up at 6-6. Kids are having fun over there getting on TV. Okay, set to go. Trojans with 31 seconds to work with here in the ball game. Shadle, draw, hand off to Ayers. Ayers got a yard or so, and the Trojans will immediately call. No, they're going to huddle up real quickly here now with 20 seconds remaining.
1 second and 9.
Trojans set to go. Set them up in a hurry. Clock down to 15 seconds. Shadle back to pass, looking deep. Firing one over to far side. It is overthrown. Stops the clock. It was intended for Jeff Lentz at the 25-yard line, but it goes an incompletion. Stops the clock with just 8 seconds remaining. So, looks as though the Trojans may have to settle for a hard-fought tie tonight against these Newport Buffaloes. That would even up their season record now at 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. Trojans will put it up, I'm sure. They'll have to, with just 8 seconds remaining. See what we can come up with now.
42-yard line.
Flanker near side is Wetzel. Back to pass goes Shadle. Gonna throw it deep. Nope, gonna throw it short. It's complete, but the time has, well, there was 1 second remaining. There was a second, and we lost a second as time was called immediately, and there was a second. There'll be a little bit of a discussion here, as they definitely called time with 1 second remaining. Yep, one more. Nope. Oh, bad call. Bad call. The referee is going to allow the time to expire, but it was a bad call as there was a second remaining on the clock. But at any rate, that ends the ball game. Final score of UDA 6 and the Newport Buffaloes 6. Tough ball game all the way. And final score, UDA 6 and the Newport Buffaloes 6. Not sure when the last time the Trojans tied, but it's been a while. And they do it tonight now against Newport. Run up their season record now to 1-1-1. A win, a loss, and a tie. And they'll try it again next week to get back on the winning side of the ledger once again. So, till that time, kind of a little bit of frustration and showing here on both squads as, you know, the tie is, you know, kind of anticlimactic, but nevertheless,
next week,
it comes as a tie, not a loss. So we'll go to Juniata next week, take on those Juniata Indians, and we'll see what we can do with them. So until that time, Dale Calnon again saying so long
have a safe trip
and
home and may
good
God
night.
bless.